Jeff, let's talk. Wait, I got a noise for you. Hold on.
Oh gosh. Jeez,
That's like
you're
when you get the answer right. All right,
yep. So I'll be
and
hearing a lot of that. Go on.
and we'll just start with that. All right, let's talk about Gen Z, how they're changing the face of social media. There's a big report out, and you and I loved it. What do you think of it before we share it?
Well, actually, I have two questions for you that I would like to clarify before everybody checks out. Number one, why is Gen Z relevant? Why should it be relevant to me and my business? I think a lot of people have that question
Great
because Gen Z
question.
is like probably like 30 and it's probably like 15 to 30 age range, I think, ish, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even less than that. Maybe
No, no.
maybe like
Like
12 to
11.
25 or something.
Yeah. 11. I was gonna say
Okay.
11.
So first of all, why is it relevant? Number one. Number two, there's a quote in here talking about how they believe there's no such thing as mainstream pop culture anymore. What does that mean?
All right. Number one, it's important because what we've seen in the past is social media is set by those in elementary, middle school, high school, and then college, right? So that's how social media picks up and grows. And the trends start there. Even though now you see what 25% of all TikTokers are our age, which is
Mhm.
crazy. But it started all at a young age. So this is why we have to watch that as a trend, especially when it's on something like TikTok or Instagram. So this is why it's important, and then we'll get into the other part. Number two, your other question, and I totally forgot it. What was it?
Why is Gen Z relevant to me?
Oh,
Because that's not,
yeah,
they're not the ones with all the money right now.
yeah, got it. Because it allows us to create authentic content that connects with people, right? There was a video that I shared with you earlier yesterday or today. I don't remember. Was it Gary V? When he says like we're all looking for that piece of content that's going to help us go viral, and the key to everything that we're doing is just to create a lot of content that's now niching down and connecting with our audience better because I thought a lot of us are overthinking it. And so, with that, I want to just share really quick what we've got here. And I'm going to zoom out so you can see a lot of it here. Let me zoom in. And this one's called the Gen Z. Horizon Media identifies 12 emerging Gen Z subcultures. So, the subcultures right here they're talking about are actually it's a whole. Are we going to put the link to this PDF? It's a
Yeah.
whole flip
Yeah.
book. It's a PDF.
Mhm.
And if we zoom in here, which is to me the important pieces that Jeff and I thought, Gen Z non-traditional media habits. Here's why it's important because the media habits of Gen Z are different. If you notice, Jeff at the very beginning said, what was that quote that you said of what they're not doing about pop culture?
Yeah, 91% of 18 to 25-year-olds agree that they believe there is no such thing as mainstream pop culture anymore.
Dude, that's nuts. What does that even mean, right?
Mhm.
So I think what we've seen right now is that a lot of us, myself, Jeff, we gravitate to the things that we see are popular, whether it's on TV or anywhere else on social. And what we're finding here, according to this research that was done, is that Gen Z actually functions differently, and they want to go deeper into niches. Meaning, Jeff, you let's say love the outdoors and you love recording bunny rabbits bouncing outside your house. You go deeper into recording rabbits and what they eat and what they do. According to this, you're going to have a larger following because you niche down on that specific thing, right? But I mean, you've actually done it with the Ozarks. I just chose bunny rabbits. Okay. tell us tell us what you've done with the Ozarks according to this because it matches what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that we as salespeople in any industry, no matter what you're selling, everybody wants to be very broad based because you don't want to. We always have that scarcity mindset of, well, I'm in this market. Let's just call it St. Louis because that's where I am. I need to speak to St. Louis. But the reality is you're going to have a much harder time niching down to pockets of St. Louis if you try to keep it too broad based, and you're not going to go viral. You're not going to hit on what you intended to hit on. And you're actually probably going to just run into a roadblock. Whereas if you take a pocket of a community, and you all can relate to this depending on where you live, and you just niche down on that, you're going to have a smaller community on social or wherever it is, but it's going to be a bunch more loyal people because it's much more relatable to them. It's not this broad-based concept. And I think that applies to anything and everything, whether it's a hobby and it's something that whatever it is in your career. I think we all try to be too broad-based, and it's going to end up causing you to be kind of swimming in this just wide open, vast area of space, and you're never going to accomplish anything because everybody really wants to, narrow down.
Yeah, I agree. And here they go deeper into what they were talking about. And I love showing this because there's an app for that, meaning, hey, if you want to niche down even further, right, and find your specific audience that matches what you love, then here's what it looks like, right? And look, it says social media serves their needs on their time. So, and Jeff and I, let me stop sharing really quick. Jeff and I have been, I'm going to borrow, now every time I do this, Jeff, I remember Gary Vee always saying, well, I always bringing himself into this, but that's an inside joke. Anyway, Jeff and I have been talking about this for a long time, which is the companies that have to be scared of TikTok and YouTube and all of these other social sites are not each other so much. It's the Hulus and the HBOs and the Netflixes. That's who should be scared, because the younger generation is consuming all of this information in short spurts and longer spurts, all on social. And so you can see here, for discovery, my algorithm links passion and interests. That's where you have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Reddit, Pinterest. I don't even know. What is
Shazam.
Shazam? That's like how I find music. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Twitter, privacy, anonymity, and encrypted messaging. Yeah, I'm on Discord. I'm not on Telegram. I have it, but I don't use it. But it makes sense. Intimacy. That's interesting because I do see a lot of people FaceTiming where it's just like maybe 2, 3, 4 people max.
COVID really thrust that forward.
Yeah, man. And Be Real. You use Be Real. I have it, but I don't use it. So that's interesting. Geneva. Have you heard of Geneva? Damn, look at that. I've never heard of Geneva either. So now I guess we're going to have to test out. Dude, why don't we talk about Geneva tomorrow when we figure it out? Geneva it is. And live streaming gaming, which only really comes down to 2 places. Twitch, that's Twitch, and that's YouTube Live. What we are seeing a pickup on live streaming gaming from TikTok. It's picking up a little bit, so keep an eye on that. The idea, though, behind all of this is that we've got to niche down. We've got to niche down, and the only way to do it is like Jeff always says, look, my nasty videos, not nasty in a bad way, but
crappy.
My crappy videos will outperform your non-existent video, right? I always remember that because it's true. Like if you don't post anything up, you'll never find your niche. Like you won't know what clicks with your audience.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity here, and I think that's the key. And if you're not seeing the forest through the trees with a Gen Z, and don't focus on their age so much. And although they are going to be very relevant very soon, if not already, focus on where the world's going, because they're driving the bus. You can disagree with me all day long. I'm telling you right now, I'm 100% right. It's the way culture works. It's the way our culture is working even more so.
You got it right. I just had to click it.
Almost scared me for a second. But that's where it's going. And so if nothing else, even if you're not interested in saying, okay, I don't really care if I serve a 25-year-old or sell them a house or a product, it's how you market and it's how you show up. And gone are the days of paying for advertising anymore. You don't have to if you do this correctly. This is free other than your time. And there is a lot of time that you have to put into this, but there's just so much value here. The other quote that I love is, even Google's executives, which you've talked about this, admitted that Gen Z turns to social media for discovery over Google search or maps. So even though we as 40 and 50 somethings might have done it one way, the younger generations are not doing it that way. And whether we like it or not, that's where it's going. And so you have an opportunity here now that you need to take advantage of.
All right, and we'll put up the link to the whole. Geez, that was a long thing. I think if anything, if we want to focus in on the important pieces, so people get a little bit more clarity, I'd like to just showcase this part because some people still need to understand what that looks like here. Let me zoom in. Categories and subcultures organized through the research are, just so you understand, gaming, streetwear, ex gamers, gamer girls; entertainment, horror healers, poetic connectors; education, that's probably where we would fall in, right? Fashion and beauty. So we're under the education piece. That's where most businesses are. That's our opportunity.
Or entertainment, or entertainment.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, you know what? I think in some cases it's a combination of both entertainment slash education, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, I'll,
You know, and storytelling kind of falls in between the two.
okay, fine. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Anyway, that's all we got. Unless you want to add something else, Jeff.
No, I think that drives. I mean, it's pretty broad based, but I think the focus here is that you know, as we find ourselves constantly saying every time something new comes around, you should really be paying attention to this. And this is an ongoing thing. This isn't a short game. This is a long game. But over the next 2 to 3 years, start paying attention to this stuff. And you know, there's more and more Gen Z articles constantly flooding yours and my media space because that's what we're searching. But that's a sign. That's telling. It's, you know, it's where it's going. Pay
Dude,
attention.
so Geneva is an organized group chat. You gotta check this out while I have you on here.
So kind of like Marco Polo was in a way.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom out of this, but my computer is not having it right now. Let me I'll put up the link for everybody so you guys can see it. But that's interesting. I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna see what. Let's jump on it, Jeff. Let's see what you think.
Oh God, another one. Here we go.
All right, all right. Oh, all right,
All right, all right.
all right. There we go. See everybody.